Welcome to Kiara Chats. I have no idea what episode number this is. My name is Kiara. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite athletes and this poster that I made. Yeah, so basically today I got bored and I made this poster of 20 of my favorite athletes. And since sports are super important in my life and really important for a lot of other people's lives, I thought it would be fun to talk about why these 20 people are people that I look up to, why I chose to put them on this poster, and what lessons I learned from them that I carry beyond fields into my regular life. So let's jump into it with the first player. Also on the poster, you'll notice that on every person's picture I wrote one statistic or one accomplishment that they have, and I will be reading each of those accomplishments to you, but those are my main motivations for their successes. If you notice me looking down, I am glancing at my notes on my computer, so please ignore that. But the first person we are going to talk about is Derek Jeter. If you know me in real life, you know that I am a diehard New York Yankees fan. I'm actually going to a Yankee game in a few days, and I'm so excited. But growing up in the early 2000s, late 2000s, Derek Jeter was the guy. You know, the 2009 Yankee roster was legendary. World Series champions, of course. The last time the Yankees won the World Series. And Jeter was manning the helm. He was the captain of the team. It can't get better than Derek Jeter. He is a 5-time World Series champion with the Yankees, which is absolutely incredible. By far my favorite Yankee from childhood, the one that I remember watching the most. And he truly is the model of professionalism and what it means to be a professional athlete and a role model. He was hardly ever ejected. I don't know the exact statistic, but hardly ever argued balls and strikes. He was a great leader, and he was super composed under pressure. I mean, he was a clutch guy. He got nicknames for his performances in the playoffs because he was just so clutch. So he's a great person to look up to. Keeping the Yankee train rolling, we got the current captain of the Yankees, Aaron Judge. 3-time AL MVP. He's a Yankee legend. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's the current, face of the AL. He's the face of the Yankee team right now, and for good reason. He deserves every good thing that comes to him. He is a great ball player. He is the perfect representation of elite performance while staying humble and really dedicated to his team. So he is proof that you can be grounded and you can still put your team first. You can be super disciplined even when you're on the top of the world and things are going really well for you. I hope we win a World Series this season because he truly deserves to get a ring while he's a Yankee. Shifting sports to the other sport that I've played my entire life. I played in high school. Tennis. This ball right here. First tennis player we are going to highlight is the legend Serena Williams. Doesn't matter if you've never seen tennis before in your life. Doesn't matter if you have no idea what the rules are. You have no interest in the game. You know who Serena Williams is. You've heard her name a million times. You know she's an absolute legend. She has 23 Grand Slam singles titles, which is record-breaking. That was incredible. It's impossible to not admire her as a woman who plays sports. You'd be hard-pressed to find a woman in sports who doesn't look up to Serena Williams in one way or another. She was dominant. She was such an icon for the sport back then, and she still is now, even though she doesn't play anymore, which says something about how much influence she had. She broke barriers. She was an African-American woman, and she fought like hell to get where she was, and it's incredible to watch and to look up to. She is proof of what belief and strength in yourself can do for you. The next tennis player is another American, Coco Gauff. She won the 2023 U.S. Open Championship, which is the photo that I put on my poster. She is a young success story, and I'm young, so you can't blame me for looking up to her. She's an all-around a great person. She had a pretty meteoric rise and kept her character really strong throughout. And I look up to her because she is proof that you can achieve your greatness early on, and you can still stay authentic and kind and be true to yourself. She's honestly been struggling a little bit in tennis recently. If you watch tennis, I'm sure you know. So I really hope she can get back on the right track and start winning slams again because she has a great future ahead of her, and I can't wait to watch it. First couple of the poster are the Woodalls, Tari Davis Woodall and Hunter Woodall. These two are track and field athletes. They are Olympic and Paralympic gold medalists. I absolutely adore their YouTube channel. Whether you're an athlete or not, you will get a kick out of their YouTube channel. Go check it out. I watch their videos pre-game to hype myself up. specifically the one where they both win their Olympic medals, because that's the peak of sports. It doesn't get better than that. So I absolutely love that. They, to me, represent resilience, love, and overcoming adversity. Hunter is a Paralympic champion. He had both his legs amputated, I believe just below the knee, when he was a baby. Tara is an African-American woman in this country, so they have fought to get where they are, and they prove that your limits are meant to be challenged and you need to push through. And if you stay consistent and you work hard and you dream big, you will achieve great things. I absolutely love them. The first lacrosse player on this poster is one that I've talked about in videos before, Kate Dever. I had the honor of meeting her, which was in a vlog from a couple years ago at a game back when she was in college at USC. But now she plays professionally in the WLL, which is the relatively new women's lacrosse league. I bought her jersey immediately when she made that team, and I absolutely love supporting her. I've been supporting her for years, back when she was in college. Being able to meet her was absolutely incredible, so I had to throw her up on this poster. Another absolutely legendary tennis player is Billie Jean King. Can't talk about women in sports or women in tennis without bringing up Billie Jean King. She won the 1973 Battle of the Sexes match, which is probably the most iconic tennis match in all of history that will ever be played. I look up to her because she was a pioneer for equality in sports, and women's sports is on such a meteoric rise right now, and I absolutely love to see it, but it would not have been possible without the work that she put in to change the world. So, she's an absolute living legend, and a great to tennis. She gave tennis everything she had, and it's incredible. She's the best. Switching sports once again, hockey. Hilary Knight, Captain America. She is a two-time Olympic gold medalist. She is also the captain of the Boston Fleet in the Professional Women's Hockey League, the PWHL. Just won the U.S. Olympics. Of course, most of you probably saw that. Fuck the U.S. men's hockey team, and I love the U.S. women's hockey team. But we won't talk about that in this video. I look up to her because she has been through a lot in her career. She's currently on the long-term injury reserve, but she doesn't let that get her down. She leads at a high level, at the highest level of women's hockey, and she plays with such passion that it's really admirable. Next person is another world legend, whether you follow the sport or not, Muhammad Ali. The stat that I put on the poster is his record, 56-5, which is absolutely incredible. But I look up to him for his confidence, his conviction, and his courage to stand for something that was bigger than just boxing. He took his influence and his power far beyond the ring and gave us some of the most iconic quotes of all time that are on every motivational poster ever. You've probably had one in one of your classrooms. I know I had a bunch in middle school. So just an all-around super influential person and an absolute legend in sports. Talk about an all-around legend in sports. Kobe Bryant, 5-time NBA champion among a million other accolades. Of course, you probably can guess where I'm going to go with this, the Mamba mentality. The idea of the Mamba mentality changed so many people's lives. I haven't played basketball since I was 8, but I've thought about the Mamba mentality virtually every day since then, whether I was playing a sport or not. The relentless work ethic that he had and the obsession with just getting a little bit better every single day and being so mentally tough that nothing could get to you and you could never be broken down is something that it's changed my life, truly. Honestly, it's completely changed my life, so R.I.P. Kobe, we miss you. We got some big Olympic champions in here, but we're going to talk about Simone Biles now. She's a 7-time Olympic gold medalist. She probably has a million more medals than that, I honestly don't know, but 7-time Olympic gold medalist. I look up to her because she was excellent. She excelled in every field in gymnastics, but she also prioritized her mental health and her self-worth. She knew when it was time to back off. She knew when it was time to come back. She knew when it was time to speak up, and I really look up to her for that because I know that it's not easy to do that, and she made it happen on the world's biggest stage and let people see that you can do it too, and there's nothing wrong with speaking out about anything. So we, of course, everybody knows who Simone Biles is, looks up to Simone Biles. She's absolutely incredible. Next, Olympic champion, Katie Ledecky, 9-time Olympic gold medalist. Virtually every time Katie Ledecky breaks the world record, she's breaking a record that was held by her already. She has something like the top 20 fastest swim times in whatever distance she does. I'm not a swimmer, so I don't know what they're called. But whatever distance she does, she has like the top 20 world records, which is just absolute dominance. She's so disciplined, she's so consistent, and she's really quiet about what she's doing. Like, she has every right in the world to go brag and shout it from the rooftops that she's the most dominant swimmer of all time. Not the most dominant women's swimmer. She is the most dominant swimmer of all time. And she doesn't brag about it. She stays quiet, she stays humble, she lets her work speak for itself, and that's insanely admirable. I don't want to be that athlete that's screaming from the rooftops telling you what my stats are and how good I did in my game. I want to be quiet, and I want my performance to show. So that's why I look up to her. Another lacrosse player on the list, Charlotte North. If you know anything about lacrosse or women's lacrosse, you know Charlotte North's name. She is a 2-time Tewaaraton Award winner, which is like the biggest college lacrosse award ever. And she won it twice. And she was a huge pioneer for getting the Women's Lacrosse League built, for growing the game, for getting people watching women's lacrosse. If you've never seen Charlotte North play, even if you don't know lacrosse at all or don't enjoy it, go watch her play because it's absolutely incredible. She plays on a different level than everybody else in the sport. She has really, really pushed the sport forward, and lacrosse is growing quickly now, but it was a slow sport. Not a slow sport, it was a slow growing sport for a while. It's actually the fastest sport on 2 feet, as Paul Rabel always says, another lacrosse legend. But she really, really pushed the sport forward and did not give up, and I'm sure so many people told the Women's Lacrosse League that it was not going to work out, and it was stupid to do it, but they never gave up. They did it, and now I believe it's the 3rd season, and I have 2 women's lacrosse players on my top 20 athlete list, so that's goes to show how much influence they can have. The next baseball player is Kelsey Whitmore. She is the #1 draft pick in the first ever WPBL Women's Professional Baseball League draft that happened earlier this year. The league starts later this year. I really, really look up to her because she's breaking barriers in women's baseball. Baseball is traditionally not a women's sport, and so many women, including me, have been told time and time again that baseball is not for you. There is no place for you in baseball. And I now play baseball on a club team at my university. So there is absolutely a place for you in baseball. Even if you are the only girl on a team of all guys, there is a place for you. Kelsey's entire childhood was being the only girl on a team of guys, and she didn't let it stop her. She continued to play the game she loved. She now plays with the Savannah Bananas. She plays banana ball. How much cooler can you get than that? But she is leading this new league of women's sports and further growing the world of women's sports. It doesn't get better than that. She just goes to show that new paths are always possible if you don't give up fighting for them. The second women's professional baseball player is Arwen McCulloch. I had the honor of meeting her because she did a speaking event at our school. So here's the photo of me and her. But I look up to her because she created the Cal Poly SLO women's baseball team, which then inspired our women's baseball team to be created. So she built something that didn't exist. She saw an area that needed growth, and no one else was going to do it, so she stepped up and did it. She's, again, another person who's been told time and time again, baseball's not for you, just play softball, pick a different sport, play basketball, whatever it was. She did not give up on her dream. Now she's playing professional baseball. Rounding off the baseball players with another Yankee legend, but an all-around baseball legend, Babe Ruth. He is the 7-time World Series champion, which is insane. Of course, if you're a Yankee fan like me, you know who this is. Actually, if you're not a Yankee fan, you should still know who this is. I would be surprised if you don't know who Babe Ruth is. But he changed the game forever. He was absolutely dominant. He's probably the best baseball player of all time. So, there's not really much else to say. He's the best. He's the GOAT. Basketball has all those arguments about who the GOAT is. There's no argument in baseball. It's Babe Ruth. He's the GOAT. Fight me in the comments if you want, but I'll win. because he is the GOAT. It's undeniable. The last tennis player we are going to throw on this list is my favorite of the big three, Roger Federer. He has won 20 Grand Slam titles. It tore my heart to shreds when he retired because I was not ready to be done watching Roger Federer play tennis. But he played for so long with so much grace, and he was so humble, and he really excelled with his humility. And if you watch him in interviews and stuff, he's so well-spoken and just a great person who has done some incredible work off the tennis court too, so I really look up to him. And he's my favorite of the big three. I can't argue, like, there's nothing else I can say to further my argument. He's just my favorite of the big three. So, Roger Federer. The last three athletes on this poster are three college basketball legends who are going to or are WNBA legends. First off, we have everyone's favorite couple, Paige Bueckers and Azzi Fudd. Paige was the 2025 Rookie of the Year champion for the WNBA, and then the two of them won the NCAA championship for UConn. I look up to them, first of all, because they have a adorable relationship. They're so cute. I died when they confirmed that they were together. But they're absolute dominates. Like, they dominate on the basketball court. It's incredible to watch them play. They are super in tune with their team. They rise together. That UConn team would not have made it if it were just one of them. They made it to the championship because they are a team. Led, of course, by Paige Bueckers. But if you know anything about basketball, if you watch the WNBA, you know these names. I hope so bad that Azzi Fudd gets drafted to the Dallas Wings because I want Paige and Azzi on a team again so I can watch them again. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm really hoping I can go to a bunch more WNBA games this season because I went to one last season and it was so much fun. The final athlete, and the one that everyone's going to know because she blew up, Caitlin Clark. She is the NCAA D1 all-time leading scorer. That's one of the millions of things I could say. She's a legend. She was a legend in Iowa, and she's a legend in Indiana now. So she changed the game with her confidence, with her skill, and her ability to be fearless on and off the court. She's an absolute icon for all women, for all girls, and I truly hope that her career continues to grow because she deserves it. And the last image I have on this poster is everyone watches women's sports. Women's sports, and saying that everyone watches women's sports, is not just making a statement. Women's sports are a movement. Women's sports is growing incredibly quickly, and all of women's sports is growing. There are so many new leagues that have popped up in the last 5 years, so many new athletes to look up to. And this wall, this whole poster that is mostly women, truly reflects that I want to be part of the shift of women's sports, both as a fan and as an athlete. But women's sports are not going anywhere. Women's sports are here to stay, and they're just going to continue to grow. And if you don't like that, so be it. It's going to happen anyway. So everyone watches women's sports. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time.